Don Verhovsky, your host with the most. I am here with the most incredible Pascal. And I wanted to introduce you guys to somebody that is absolutely a delight. We're looking at voices that lead. So, leaders, legacy, limitless. Through that filter, I am so happy to take a look at both Pascal personally and professionally and the impact and the legacy that he's left. And he's just starting. He's not old yet. He's got a long time to go. There's going to be a considerable legacy to keep leaving, and I was so happy to have that. Pascal, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, take a minute or two. Tell us about you. Tell us what you've done.
Well,
Where you?
thank you very much for all that, Nathan. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah, I'm Pascal from France. If you didn't guess yet, so I've always been extremely creative. So for me, it means that I embraced a career in music.
Okay.
I performed with lots of bands, but my real music career was really composing, producing for tons of artists around the world, so tons of collaborations. Super interesting.
Don't feel
And then,
shameful. You can name drop. You can be that guy. Do some
oh,
things. Have some fun.
well, when I meet people, actually, it's interesting because they're always like, "What kind of music did you do?" And the stuff I did is so wide that I question back. I'm like, "What kind of music do you like?" So that I can name an artist that is related to what you like. So, but no, it's been really a wide range of music from uh, very known hip hop artists to K-pop stars to the most famous Cuban musicians. Yeah, it's been very adventurous and interesting. It's very cool. After doing 15 years of that, I needed some new challenges, new adventures. So I fell in love with computers, became a coder. The passion I had for music, the insane amount of studying that I did in the music world, I did the same for coding. So I
Okay.
became a software developer. I created a software for the first Hyperloop company. I
Hold on,
created
go
a
back. When
few.
what was the transition? What was the like for you? There was no difference. I know that for me, when I do
Yeah,
this and this and this, to me, it's just me. It's the same thing.
right.
What was it that made you look at coding the same way that you looked at music?
I think for me, being creative has no limit. So it
Mm.
just, you start to find an open door into something. For me, it was music first. But then, my parents were pretty good at cooking. So they put me to cook as well. So that's why I'm still cooking quite a bit nowadays. And it really doesn't matter what it is. But when I saw the power, when I saw the efficiency of computers versus the
Mm.
efficiency of the music industry that is really, really, really bad. I'm like, okay, I think I want to work more with these kind of tools nowadays and see what I can build with that rather than trying to fight for an industry that needs a revolution. So I was able to create things that could have a new kind of impact, maybe a bigger impact. You can think about even Will.i.am when he's interviewed, people ask him why he got into tech. He's always like, yeah, of course you can affect lots of people around the world with music, but with tech, think about it, it's even bigger. So that's what happened to me as well. So becoming a software developer, started to
Okay.
hang with lots of entrepreneurs, and that led me to the investment world as well. So I started to do lots of investments in mostly tech companies. So basically, I've always been looking
So
for,
once again, there was a magical transition point.
yeah, which
What
which was logical. Which was
and
logical because when
only
I
to
was
you,
a
Pascal. It's uniquely personal. That's the point that you're like,
yes,
yeah, to me, it's logical. It made sense. I'm like, to anyone else, you're like, whoa, you came from here
yes,
to here. How is that logical?
yes.
You're like, it's natural. It's intuitive.
But yeah, it absolutely is. But I think one of my superpower is to be able to break things down when there is a
Mm.
problem to solve, when there is a new things to put together. is to manage to break it down in small steps so that you can actually do it or understand a problem, you know. So for me, in the music world, okay, you can be creative, create all day, but then what do you do with that? You need to make somewhat a living, and you know, you need an efficient process then to be able to have that music heard by tons of people and also monetize it, right? So suddenly, after all that, you find tools along the way that shows you more and more efficiency, which is awesome. So of course, when you find, you know, you look more at computers, you can, if you mess with them, you can make things very efficient. And then you realize in the entrepreneur world, in the tech world, you realize that these companies, if you are involved as an investor, there is a massive potential as well. So that's very efficient as well. So that's why that's the logic for me right here.
I love that. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned in and if you've been popping in here, and there's about 70 of us that have eyes on us right now, and it's a beautiful thing, I'd like to start the party off that on Voices That Lead, we examine each of our guests through the filter of these three beautiful questions. Number one, Pascal, how do you serve those that you lead?
So I think the question can be approached in different ways. So of course, I'm working with tons of people, so co-working with tons of people. So, for example, for me as a music producer, it's being able to really listen to the artist that is coming to you or the songwriter that is coming to you that has an idea in his head and trying to make it a real product. So he may come with a piece of song or a full song or maybe nothing, and he's
Mm,
going to leave with something that is completely finished, ready to play on the radio. So you have to just listen to the person, read the person, understand where he's coming from, what he's trying to put together. And that's also when your personal knowledge, your homework as
yeah.
a composer, musician, artist, if you studied lots of things, that helps you understanding a lot
Yes.
more the person you're dealing with. So for me, that's how I serve this type of people, for example.
That's
But in
beautiful.
the case of a student, it can be a music student, or I did a lot of mentoring for just students in general trying to build an interesting career.
Okay.
Um, I talk about different subjects. So I talk a lot about homework because, you know, nowadays,
Well, look
because
at it this way. When I went through music school, my teacher I'd meet 1 hour a week, but I'm supposed to practice 10 hours.
yeah,
Otherwise, this isn't going to work.
yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that nowadays is not very clear for the younger generation because how easy it is to get anything, right? So that's the problem. So that's why I talk, people know that I talk about that all the time. It's if you want magic to happen, you need to be good, not just good, but you need to try to be some of the best you can at what you do. And that's potentially when magic can start to happen, especially if you combine the networking aspect, the social aspect, if you communicate about here's what I know, here's what I'm good at, here's what I want to do, and try to build relationships with people who are actually high profile people, which something that I talk a lot about as well. You need to up your game on with the people you hang with, you know, and this is how you get opportunities.
Isn't that
So
fun? A
that's
lot of
it.
people
Oh,
don't do
yeah,
that, man. They
yeah,
just
of
they
course.
like it's hard to soar with the eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and once again, you know, when I say that, people are like, yeah, but how do I approach these high profile people? Why do they would they care about me? And I'm like, well, if you approach them instead of being needy, why you go to them and you're like, hey, I have an idea that maybe is going to help with what you're working on. Actually, would you be interested in hearing about it? You
So
need to find a
you
way to impress these
you're,
people.
you're like me. I believe that you can't start a new relationship. You can't open an emotional bank account. First, you have to deposit.
Yeah,
How do you withdraw on a brand new bank account that you didn't put any, like, what do you
yeah,
withdraw? It makes no sense to me, but people emotionally keep doing it. And they're like, "Hi Pascal, here's what I need from you." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." What are you
yeah,
talking about? And I'm like, so
absolutely.
it's so different when you're like, "No, no, Pascal, here's what I'd love to do for you. Here's what I
Yeah,
see, what I understand,
exactly.
where I think this could help." And you're like, "You know what? Even if you're wrong, even if you're completely wrong, thank you for the thought. Wow."
Yeah. Oh,
And it
yeah. It's a huge
endears
deal.
you to somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah. It changes everything, you know. And I think it, you know, you were talking about intuition before. Maybe for some people it's more obvious than others, but for people who struggle to get a good job or get a professional situation or just get a better life, like you
Yeah.
need to up your game with the, you know, the kind of people you hang with. That's it.
Sharpen your sword. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So let me ask you then. Our next question that we look to examine is, what do you believe is your legacy?
I think actually it's probably related to inspiration. People know that I work extremely hard and they know that I did this homework like for music. I mean, everything I do is public. You can go on YouTube and see me playing the keys. I mean, I'm not afraid of anything to go after anything. So, you know, when I was 2021, I was in love with Cuban music and I worked on that like crazy. I ended up being invited to play live in Cuba with the leading salsa band, and I
What
was
were you playing? What instrument?
piano.
Oh, I
So,
do a little bit of congos and bongos, so I'm in on the percussion side. I love that. Okay.
yep, no, piano has been. I mean, I play a little bit of drums, but piano has been really my absolute focus. So yeah, that kind of stuff happens. So for people seeing me over and over doing things that, you know, you kind of think that it's not possible to do, or it's just when people see you doing things that they think is just stupid dream and they actually see you doing it,
How
that's
beautiful.
that's the thing. So people saw me working with all these famous artists, then creating software for famous companies, then being an investor in companies they don't even know that can invest in, like SpaceX or like Circle that just went public, like Tether. Well, yeah, I'm an investor in all of that, and people are like, "How?" I'm like, "Well, research, homework. Hello." You
Step
know?
up, sharpen your sword. If you want to,
Yes.
like, I always talk to people and they're like, "Okay, but Natan, I want so much more." I'm like, "Okay, if you want more, do more."
Yep.
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
you don't get more until when you create that space inside you that shows that the universe says, "Yeah, yeah, you can handle this." Like, if you don't have $100 million a month coming to you, there's a reason. The universe says, "There's you don't know what to do with this," and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
and
Of
that's
course.
fine, and it
Yeah.
makes total sense that when you're ready and when you can handle and when you are at that energetic place that it's not just serving you, but you're serving others. We talk about,
Absolutely.
the tide rises all boats. If you're a little boat, if you're a big boat, that's amazing. I love that you, Pascal, are not worried about whether you're a big or little boat. You're the tide.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the
You
thing that
know.
raises everybody up. And so you give yourself freely to everyone and say, "Hey, I'm here. I want to raise you up." That's so beautiful.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I love to. I mean, actually, my first job, I was a piano teacher. So I was teaching classical and jazz music in two conservatory in France. I was 19, and I've always liked to share the knowledge, the experiences. Maybe not like 30 hours a week, but doing master classes and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's very enjoyable because that's when you talk about, you know, how I got to the United States. I was invited by Maria Carey's former songwriting partner, who is one of the biggest songwriter of all time. So that's just that is like a real like it's a dream. It's a very inspirational, and people are like, "How do you do that?" Well, I'm like, homework, communication, always the same story.
You know, I love that, man. I won Kiwanis Music Festival when I was 12 on piano. And it's
Hmm.
because my mom is a concert pianist. And when you're Russian, you do what your parents do, you don't ask. So I'm on a Saturday playing 3 hours of piano and practicing. And I see my friends, sons of bitches, are in my front yard
Yeah,
playing just to bother me. And I'm like, they know I can't go out and play
yeah,
because this is where I'm doing something different than them.
yep,
And now I get to live something different than them,
yeah.
and it's because of that commitment, that
Oh yeah,
sacrifice, that, hey, when did you do the thing? If you didn't then, well, why do you think you get to deserve that now? And if
absolutely.
you need to do it now, it's okay. You're an
Oh yeah,
adult and you're like, it's
oh
going to be a
yeah,
little more painful, but it's possible, and it's okay. And i
oh yeah.
i remember at 12 I won the Kiwanis Music Festival, and at 14 I went out to a Chinese restaurant with about 6 or 7 friends of mine, and we got one of those big round tables, and there was a keyboard in the corner. And then for the first half an hour, I didn't see anybody playing that.
Mm.
So I ate some food and I said, "Oh, screw it. I'm all, high and whoom, whoom. I just came off Kiwanis. I'm going to go over." And I sat down, and for the next 30 minutes, just full recital, just played.
Yeah, yeah.
And I stopped. A couple people clapped. There was like 7 people in them, whatever. Came back to my table, and the owner comes over and goes, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You, all your dinner free." And I was
Oh,
like, whoa, I understood the power and the impact.
yeah.
This is something that's like, when they say play for your supper, you'll
Mm.
never go hungry. You can't be homeless. we
Yeah,
we have a skill, we have an ability, we have something that other people, sure, whether they have it or not, this is something unique,
yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
so powerful.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
powerful.
I will always remember the first time ever we played live with a Latin band, composition, arrangement of mine, and you see the impact on the crowd, people dancing. And that's profound. It's very cool.
It's ridiculous. So
It talks to the
legacy,
soul, right? So that's the real thing. That's it. It's just the real deal.
and people are looking at that in terms of legacy. I'm like, legacy is what resonates inside your heart. It's not just like, here's my accomplishments, here's my curricular vitae, my
Right,
like
right,
my
right,
resume. It's not about that. That's what I was, but who am I now? And
right.
a big thing that I believe in is that, progress equals happiness.
Yes,
If you're not
absolutely.
testing yourself, if you're not questioning, if you're not
Yeah,
pushing yourself harder and farther, when was
yeah,
the last time you were happy? You're like, I don't know. I look at my accomplishments, I look at my achievements, I'm like, and I had a client. He was rich, young, beautiful, had a beautiful wife, kids, money, cars, houses, planes, the whole nine.
yeah,
And he literally wrote down all of his accomplishments. And every
yeah.
morning he'd wake up and he'd read them. I said, "Why?" He goes, "To make myself happy." I'm like, "Is it working?" He goes, "God, no. It makes me more
Oh, yeah.
miserable." I'm like,
Sounds weird to
"Okay, well,
me.
number one, stop that then." Number
Yeah,
one, but why? Why are you? He's like, "I don't understand. I should be happy. I have so many accomplishments. I've climbed Mount Everest. I have six-pack abs. I have mental, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, sexual. I have so many.
yeah,
Why do I feel like I'm not enough? Why?
yeah.
Why?" And I'm
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
"When's the last time that you bit off more than you could chew?" And then tried to figure out a way to chew it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh man, I don't even remember." I'm like, "Well, that was the last time you were happy."
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I think often there is a disconnection I think for lots of people. There is a disconnection between the life that they have to have and their true self. And when there is that disconnection, yeah, you kind of lose yourself.
you heard
And
about that,
I've
eh?
never had. Sorry.
You heard about that. They say that you have three lives. You have your public life, you have
Mm,
your private life, and then you
mm,
have your secret life.
mm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, intuition like has always been the biggest thing for me, to be able to keep in tune with it and follow it. That's it. you know
That's huge. My wife is a subtle energy guide. Her whole world is on intuition.
Yeah.
And it's funny because where she comes from with tarot, numerology, astrology, people, the woo woo, the
Right.
side of it and stuff. And where I come from, it is mental, physical, emotional drills that put people in the zone. But it's through
Yeah.
elite athletes. It's the same sensation.
Right.
Ultimately, us as performers, you're either a coach or an athlete. You can't be both at the same time. If I'm
Mm.
performing, I'm performing.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what I look like. My wife
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with me. So sneaky. I got my wife because she saw me and saw, okay, you're a cute looking guy and stuff. I'm like, yeah. So come over to my house. Let me cook dinner for you. And after
That's
dinner,
good.
I played Moonlight Sonata
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
on coda and just kept repeating and over
Oh,
and
okay.
variation. So I
Okay. Okay.
played for like 30 minutes, the
Okay.
same. And she
Okay.
just cried and went into a, what the hell, man? You moved me to my soul and married.
Yeah.
30 years. You
You did
win.
some, I don't know how to say in English, like hypnotized. You
Mm.
hypnotized her, like some kind of
As a
stuff like
medical hypnotherapist for 30 years. No kidding. So I
which
cheated.
reminds me, that's how people get high when you do ceremonies in Cuba, like the religion and religious music with the drum. They play the drums and stuff to get people high, right? So you got
Yeah.
her high your own way. That's it.
You, you want to impress a very independent woman who's got two jobs and more money in the bank account than her parents and is very serious and focused. And you're like, I'm going to cook for you. You're like, okay. And I'm going to play piano. You're like, okay. There's not a lot more that you need to convince to go. You are slightly different than most people that I talk to.
Right? Yeah. Sounds like we have the same strategies.
I love that.
That's funny.
Well, let me ask you. So for our third question, where people really get to feel you, and guys, if you're watching, if you're listening, if you want to know, we ask who. Well, we ask leaders' legacy limitless. So we ask, how do you serve those you lead? We ask, what do you believe is your legacy? And then now we're about to ask, if you had just one gift that you could help to give somebody else, like the ability to be limitless, what would that gift be?
Yeah, I think I talked about it before because I don't hear about that much. And I think it's especially when I started to code that I realized that the keys to many problems was the ability to break things down. Because it was obvious to me, but then when I was speaking to other coders or software developers, I saw that they were stuck on some problems but they couldn't break things down. It's just little steps. If you have problems somewhere, you have to mathematically, okay, I need to do that first. I need to do that then, and it needs to be in this order. And I need to test each step and make sure that it's going as it's supposed to be. And that way, you build the stairs to where you want to be. That's it. So I would say that skill, that gift, or just the thought of I have a problem. It's probably because I was not able to break things down properly yet.
Okay.
So how to do that properly? You can get help on breaking things down, like for the problem, or you can learn how to do it yourself, like step by step. So that skill key to me.
That's huge, and being able to give people that ability that it's a game changer because
Yep.
they're looking at, okay, what can I do now? And I'm like, take a look at what you've done, take a look at where you are, take a look at where you want to go. A lot of the people that I work with, they're so focused on, okay, well, Natan, here's what I want to do, and I'm like, stop, ask yourself four questions. Two of them are business wise. Who do
Right.
you serve? How do you serve them? You should know
Right.
these if you're doing your marketing and if you've got your audience and your messaging right. That's easy.
Yeah.
The other two are a little more personal. They're, do you like the way you make your money? Do you like the
Mhm.
way you spend your time?
Mhm.
And if you don't, you need to examine that. There's people that have come to me and said, Natan, all right, I need you to help me find, this group audience and this and that. I'm like, John, I've known you for 10 minutes. I can tell you're an introvert. Why are you talking on group stages? I don't know.
Right.
That's all I know for 20 years. I'm like, that's got to cause you anxiety. He's like, oh my God, I
Uh,
need 3 hours afterwards just to calm down. It's not
yeah.
me. And so, energetically, why aren't you aligning yourself with
Yeah.
your greatest purpose? The people, like, I don't work with anyone that I wouldn't bring to my house for a beer and a barbecue. Why would I spend more time with you? Money wouldn't change that.
Yeah.
So energetically, it has to be this beautiful. I love who you are. I love what you do. I guess in a very Japanese way. I
Hmm.
won't. I need to like you, understand you, know you, and then we'll consider doing business. That
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I agree. Absolutely. I'm the same. Absolutely. In the music world, it's so intimate what you deal with, like, when you're building a song with somebody. So that's another big reason for that, right? So, yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just popped in to join us, join us, join us, join us. This is the Voices That Lead. This is a private podcast that you'll be getting access to. And there's two secret questions. Oh my goodness. If you love the way Pascal asked, answered these first three questions. Number one, how do you serve those you lead? Number two, what do you believe is your legacy? Number three, if you had just one gift to give others to help them become truly limitless, what would it be? Whew. You have to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Come join us on YouTube, subscribe, and you'll be able to hear him answer the two secret questions. You're going to want to know how he does that. What's a question that you wish more people asked you, but rarely do? And what's the most unconventional advice that you'd give someone who wants to play a bigger game? So, we are going to have some fun in the sun. Ladies and gentlemen, come and join us. It's going to be epic. Now, in the meantime, where can we get a hold of you? I've thrown your LinkedIn in, I put it into the chat as well. So everybody's got access to you.
Awesome.
Is there anything amazing going on right now that you want to let everybody know about?
Um, Yes, always, of course. I think we are in the most exciting times ever if you are interested in how the world is evolving. So, if you look at what's going on with the tech world, it's just absolutely fascinating. And depending on your skills, depending on what you do, you can expose yourself in different ways. Either you're building or investing or trying to find exposure to what's going on. I mean, you can spend your days being in awe of like what's going on and how can you use it and change your life. These tools are starting to be quite magical. So yeah, there's no reason to be bored. Definitely not.
There's so much out there, and I gotta believe, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but bored people are boring people. Blessed people, blessed people. I've been
Hmm.
blessed. I'm so thankful that I'm in a position that I can reach out and bless others.
Right.
Everybody who catches us today, know that we will also be streamed live, and we're also blessed enough to be picked up by Build Network TV, BNTV, and we will be shouting out 24/7 around the world.
Awesome.
It's going to be incredible. Now, for final thought, in my mind, as much as progress equals happiness, one of the other things that I believe deeply in, that gratitude equals abundance,
Hmm.
and that people that are grateful see the world in a different way. And when they do, it changes the world. It's not just them in their own little illusion mind, like, oh, ha, ha, I put on rose colored glasses and I see things differently. When you do that and you express that, and other people are like, oh, okay, like random acts of kindness, it changes things.
Yeah.
And you keep having that impact around the world, that it starts to move around and the needle moves and changes. Because as much as things like the news glorify and glamorize all the negativity, there's not that many negative people compared to positive. There's not that many bad people compared to good. There's
Right.
so many more people that live and love and have families and friends and just want to live the beautiful human experience compared to those that don't.
Right. Right.
It's something that humanizes and brings us all together. And when I looked at gratitude, I remember a lot of people were like, gratitude's it's a thing. It's how I look at it. I'm like, gratitude's a feeling. If I'm,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I'm so thirsty. And somebody like brings me water. I'm like, ah, thank you. That's a physical sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
physical sensation is what you need to have if you want to process and manifest. So that if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at all the good things that you can manifest, feel them on that level. Anything short of that is a mental exercise. And that's
Mm-hmm.
great, but it's not going to, in the process of manifestation, it won't
Right.
result in anything. And
Right.
that's so
Right.
different that when you go about being creative, it's not just creative for its own sake.
Right.
Know that this is a sacred spiritual place. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You're entering creation, you give it respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 No, it's, I've always talked about the many mentors I had over the years, so many mentors in music, so many mentors in the tech world. And some of them don't even know they are my mentors, but it's just because I study them. They have no idea that I study them. But I'm like, how the hell this guy is just so smart and
Mm-hmm.
know so much and is always at the right place at the right time? What the hell is going on with that person? So I'm really grateful to be able to just keep learning over and over and over from these guys, and I have new ones all the time. It never stops.
What a blessing, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
I
oh
love
yeah.
that. I love that. Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us today. There's quite a few eyes on you, and I love that because this is such a significance. And it's not because Pascal is self-serving and like, look at me, I'm so important. I'm so significant. It's much more that there is there's a flavor, there's an option, there's something there that lets the rest of us understand that you can do this too. Um, I am special, I am unique, but you can do this too. It's not,
Yep.
I'm one in a gazillion and no one else can ever do this. This is so beautiful that you give that ability for others. So it's not just look at me, the Pascal show.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, yeah. I know. And for me, it's like I've never been into show off of whatever. I'm like, I do what my intuition is leading me to do, but I'm like, do you? We are supposed to be creative, so do
Yes.
you? And like, tell me what you did, something creative you did today, so that I'm like inspired. My turn to be inspired.
What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed where we were today at the Voices That Lead podcast, I'd invite you to come join us again. We will be here and having the most incredible, incredible time. We'll be meeting the most incredible people. We're going to take a minute right now. I want you to remember that if this is something that serves you, we want you to be here. Let's take a minute.
Ever wonder what sets real leaders apart? It's not the corner office, it's the impact they make. Welcome to the Voices That Lead podcast with Natan Verkovsky, where we dive deep with leaders who put service first. These aren't just CEOs or big names. They're people making a difference, building legacies through acts of kindness, mentorship, and heart. Every episode you'll hear powerful stories, straight from those who lift others up and inspire change. Looking for practical advice, authentic conversations, or just a spark to unleash your own limitless potential? You'll find it here. Because leadership isn't just about where you end up, it's about who you help along the way. Join the community and get inspired. Reach out to be a featured guest on the program. Leaders, legacy, limitless. Subscribe to the Voices That Lead podcast. Join us as a speaker and let others be inspired by you. Become the leader you're meant to be.
There we go. So I'm so incredibly excited to have the most incredible Pascal with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on, and we're getting picked up by Build Network TV, so we will be available for everybody, round the clock streaming internationally worldwide.
Good job with that. It's awesome.
Thank you, sir. Now, we will end the stream and let everybody get back to their day, and we'll talk to you soon.